Yeah, this is Scare Talk. I am Danny, and I'm here with Jaundice Joel.
That's what's wow. Okay, that was pretty random.
I mean, jaundice is, something an ailment.
Yeah. It's a
Somewhat
little
related.
different than what these guys have, but
Yeah.
just a little bit.
All right, so we're back for another 28 film. So we did 28 days later. Now we're doing 28 weeks later. And we're getting ready for 28 years coming soon. So look out for that review when it drops.
Oh yeah.
But for now, Joel, can you tell us who is a part of 28 weeks later?
Yes, I can. So this one stars Robert Carlyle as Dawn, Jeremy Renner as Doyle, and Rose Byrne as Scarlett. And then we've got Idris Elba in there as well. He has pretty much just as much.
That's who that was.
Yeah.
I couldn't put my finger on who that was.
He's got a good cast. I like the cast here.
Yeah.
And writers, we got 3 writers for this movie. This one took a while to write. We got Rowan Jaffe, Juan Carlos Fresnadillo. I'm butchering all these names. Enrique Lopez Levine. And this was directed by Juan Carlos Fresnadillo.
Okay. All right, so it's been 6 months. So 6 months after the rage virus was inflicted on the population of Great Britain, the U.S. Army hopes to secure a small area of London for the survivors to repopulate and start again. But not everything goes according to plan.
Oh, man.
All right, so of course, we're going to stay away from spoilers. If you would like to get access to that portion of the review, then you're going to want to go to Patreon. Patreon.com/ScareTalk is where you can sign up to get access to spoilers, early access to content, and exclusive content as well. And so, also, if you're on YouTube or if you're listening on a podcast platform, please like and follow and subscribe. It really helps get our content out there for more people to see and to enjoy. And it gives us access to more people to talk to. So we want to get to know everybody. All right, let's get into it. 28 weeks. So I will say right now that I think I liked this one more than 28 Days Later.
It had a bigger budget for sure.
Yes, there was a lot more going on when it comes to. There's bigger cast. It was just bigger in every way.
Yeah.
It still had the same kind of look, which was cool. Same kind of like editing and quick camera shots and stuff.
Yeah.
I feel maybe I'm wrong. You can let me know what you think. I feel like this one was more like the infected were more vicious, and like at times they were just wanting to murder you.
Well, I mean that's pretty much what it was in the first
smashing
one.
your eyes in.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah, that one scene.
That was crazy.
Yeah, there were definitely worse scenes. I mean, it's just they probably. I'm pretty sure they were the same way as in the first movie. It's just we saw it more like it was more in your face. When it came to stuff like that than it was in the first one.
Okay.
So yeah, it's I will say I saw this one in theaters, and I think I saw this one. It was I liked it a lot more than the first one. Back then I liked it. It was a lot more. I didn't really like the first one. The first time I saw it, first couple times I saw it actually, probably. It grew on me after a while. But this one I liked immediately. I do like the first one a little bit more than I did. So it's not like that, big of a difference for me. But this one I still do like a little bit more than the first one.
Okay.
Still,
Yeah.
to this day.
Yeah, I wouldn't say I like it a lot more,
Mm,
but I mean, there's not a lot of room.
yeah,
Like I know you gave this in the 90s, 92, I think you gave not this, but the first
the
one.
first one. Yeah,
Yeah, and I gave it in the
I
high
think it's
80s, so
yeah.
um there's not a lot of room to go up
There's really
from
not.
there.
I want to like to love 28 years later, but I'm like I don't want it to be my favorite because I don't think it's gonna be a 95. Like it's just like a near
Yeah.
perfect movie.
Yeah.
Um,
This
yeah.
was I feel like this was more violent. It was like more gory. Like
Mm.
there's a scene with a helicopter that is so freaking awesome. Oh my gosh, it's so cool. I've
Um,
been wondering about that, like in these kinds of like action movies and stuff, and these scenes. Like, can you use a helicopter in that way? I'm sure that's probably not very realistic,
it
but it looked awesome.
you have to be careful with that because you're only inches away from like hitting the ground. So I don't know when
That
you're
was
doing that
wild.
kind of. So it was like it's probably. I mean, it's probably maybe it's possible, but it's very like you're definitely risking your life to do it.
Crazy. Um, but yeah, I just feel like it was more violent, bloodier. The infected were just nastier.
Hmm.
But you're probably right too. It was kind of more in your face. It was more
Hmm.
often. Um,
Yeah.
there wasn't a lot of time where they were like kind of hiding out. Like in the
Mm.
first one, there was a lot of kind of like downtime. Um,
Yeah.
but this one, not much downtime.
Hmm.
Um, kind of started out a little with some downtime, and I was wondering like, how is this gonna
Yeah.
change? Because I know it's gonna get wild. But
Hmm.
the way this one, after that first scene, which was freaking awesome,
The opening
um,
scene, or
yeah, yeah,
yeah, I
that
love that
opening scene
scene.
was
The scene was so
really
cool.
cool. But after that, I'm like, what are we gonna do with the rest of this movie? Like, what's gonna
Hmm.
happen here? And we'll talk about that stuff in the
Yeah.
spoilers. But I was like, huh, okay. I wonder what kind of movie this is. But then we
Yeah.
find out.
We yes, we do. Oh man. And
um,
I don't know if this is technically a spoiler. I don't think it is. So we got the military involved in the first movie.
yeah.
Although the military, were the bad, they had their own agenda going on there. But then you had the military in this one too. But
Hmm.
like, but actually doing what I think the military would do in this
Yeah.
case. It reminded me of the Crazies, where it's not
Yeah.
just the infected you're dealing with; you're dealing with humans as well, like the military,
Yeah.
and keeping it things contained.
Yeah.
So I liked,
It's the American uh, military.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So
And I
yeah,
remember that was one of the reasons why I didn't care about watching this one is I thought it was just going to be an Americanized, you know, kind of
mm-hmm,
knockoff of 28 Days Later.
mm-hmm.
So I remember like I hadn't really cared for 28 Days Later. I don't need a knockoff of that.
Don't need an
So I
American one.
didn't watch it. Yeah. um and it still takes place in
Yeah.
London. There's still British people in the film. It's not like some super
Mm-hmm.
Americanized uh like The Ring or The Grudge, or it's not something like
Yeah.
that. um so that was cool to see. They
Mm-hmm.
still kept the spirit of
Yeah.
28 Days Later, just kind of ramped it up
Mm-hmm.
for this one. It's very fast paced.
Yeah.
More people died.
Oh yeah.
As far as, well, the full body count, but also the characters that we're following. I didn't
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
expected more people to survive.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I was kind of surprised by a couple of the deaths.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Yeah, we only lost like what, two of our main people in the first movie, but we weren't following that many people.
yeah,
We were following a lot of people in this one, so
yeah,
there's bound to be a little bit higher of a body count. But yeah, we did lose a lot of people in this movie
yeah.
that we're following.
Um, I like the end. It's kind of a open ending a
Mm-hmm.
little bit. That was cool. I wonder
Yeah,
if there's going to be any reference to that in 28 years later, if they're gonna kind of piggyback off of the ending there.
yeah.
Uh, that would be cool.
Mm.
It's been a long time, so I don't know if they're gonna try to connect
I
too closely.
I feel like it's been long enough that you kind of have to rewatch the movies
Yeah.
in order to like to jump into this movie, and they might know that, so
Yeah.
they might show scenes or clips or whatever, but they may not. They may just go
Yeah.
um into the
Something new.
movie. Yeah, which I'd be fine with
Yeah.
either one. Like, don't waste time if you don't have to on
Sure.
previously on like it's like just jump into the movie. Like, we'll figure it out, when it's not a complicated plot. So just
Well, but what I'm thinking, not necessarily, scenes,
mm,
but like maybe like someone references some of the characters
mm,
from 28 days or 28 years later, and kind of maybe fills in the gap a little bit as
mm,
to how maybe what happened there is what built where we're at now, or
mm,
is there going to be some sort of connection there, or is this going to be like within the same within the UK but just different, um
yeah.
different story.
I heard
So
that Cillian Murphy is supposed to come back in 20
that's what I
years.
heard too.
So
I don't know if he's gonna be in this one or the next one,
yeah, yeah.
but
I don't
that would
think
be
they were
cool.
very clear about that, but yeah.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Hmm.
I did miss him in this one.
Yeah,
I was wondering if he would
he
pop
make an
up, but
appearance.
didn't happen. Spoiler.
Yeah, yeah. He's not in this one, guys. Sorry.
Yeah.
And
Different
spoiler,
team.
he lives in the first one.
Yeah. Yeah, of course. Um yeah, different team, different writer team and directors
Different
and completely
everything.
different cast.
Yeah.
Um for 28 years, I know we had mentioned the Alex Garland and Danny
Danny Boyle
Boyle
are coming
are
back.
doing that one. So the original
Hmm.
team is
And Alex
doing
Garland
28
is
years.
writing the one after that too.
Oh, okay.
He's the writer
Okay.
of it. So,
Interesting.
yep, we're just getting the Candyman director
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
remake.
Right. Yeah, not Clive Barker.
Yeah, Clive Barker's like coming out of
That'd be
retirement
cool.
or out from like, is he dead? I don't really.
Yeah, coming back to life.
Yeah,
Got infected.
yeah. To make the next 28 years
Yeah.
later.
I think he's still alive, but
Mm-hmm.
I'm not 100% sure.
Haven't heard from that guy in a while, so
Yeah, it's been a little bit. Um. Okay, so we like this one. I will say one of my negatives is there's a scene with a lot of explosions, and it looked pretty bad. I thought it looked very fake and not kind of, I don't know, looked really cheap and bad. So that
yeah.
would be one of my only negatives, really.
CGI wasn't great back then, so
Yeah, yeah.
and they should have used practical, but whatever.
Yeah.
It's like
That'd be a crazy scene for practical effects.
Yeah, actually, yeah, that would have probably not worked very well.
They can, I've heard, I haven't, done this myself, but I've heard that sometimes, with fire scenes and
Mhm.
stuff, like you can make a miniature, like a
Yeah.
miniature town,
Mhm.
and use that real fire for that. And
Yeah,
somehow, with how you frame the camera and editing and all that, you can make it look legit.
that's what they did with Independence Day.
Oh,
They used
really?
miniatures. Yeah, they miniatures of like the White House when they blew it up, and
Oh,
like
yeah.
skyscrapers and stuff when they blew it up.
Okay.
Um, so
There you
yeah,
go.
that's been done for a while.
Yeah.
So
There you go. That's probably where I heard about it. So, come on, guys, get better.
yeah,
Get your miniatures.
yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I think that's the only negative I have. Do you have any?
Not really.
Yeah.
Yeah, that part didn't really bother me too much.
Mm.
I was just like, all right, that's it's a cool scene if you can get
Yeah,
past the the
it
fake
is.
fire. Um, yeah, I love this franchise. It's if you can continue on with this, like just even the style, like just keep it. I don't know, 28 years. I feel like 28 years, you got to expand your. You'd say it can't just be London now. It's got to be like, it's got to somehow
Yeah.
reach other parts of the world.
Yeah, well, that's the thing with the end of
Oh
28
yeah,
weeks.
yeah, true.
Um,
So,
so that could be the
mhm,
connection. Uh, and I mean, from the trailer for 28 Days Later or years, it
mhm.
looks like it is just still the UK. Just
Yeah,
there's like at least from one shot, they like show the island pretty much.
hmm
But who knows? Maybe they venture to other parts of the world too.
well, I mean, we don't need to see other places. I'm fine with being in London. It's just like it needs to be more of a threat at this point.
Hmm.
We're 28
Mm-hmm.
years into this thing, so um, I feel like, and I'm surprised evacuating people in the first one didn't bring that to other parts of the world too,
Yeah,
because they didn't mention anything like that in the second movie.
yeah,
That it reached other parts, but I
yeah.
loved it. Um, Even if 28 years later is my least favorite of the three, I'll probably still love it too. this, this is I'm a fan of zombies, and like if you want to call these zombies, rage virus monsters, I don't know. But um yeah, this has been, I love the fast moving zombies. Dawn of the Dead remake is like probably my favorite zombie movie, because like mostly because of that reason, because they're
Yeah,
fast moving. The faster they are, the scarier they are. I'm not outrunning
yeah,
a running zombie. There's no way.
yeah.
I can probably outrun a walking zombie. Like get out, just like sidestep them and get out of um, get out of the way. Unless there's a bunch of them, like a horde. But yeah, I'm a fan of this franchise. So
Yeah. All right, cool. Well, let's see what the critics think.
are they fans?
So, Rotten Tomatoes, we got the tomato meter at 72%.
Okay.
So, pretty solid. I think that's a little lower than 28 days. And then we got the popcorn meter at 66%.
Oh wow. Isn't
It's definitely
65
lower.
the like
I think
you
it's
still
60.
have a, oh, is it 60? I thought it was 65.
Yeah.
But still it's almost there.
Yeah. All right. And then IMDb gives it a 6.9.
Wow.
So it's a
That's
drop off for all across the board for all three of those scores from 28 Days Later.
Oh, is it even 6.9 is a pretty high score for a horror movie.
It was in the sevens. I think it was 7.2 or 7.5.
Wow.
Yeah, I had just checked that. So
I'm curious.
not a huge drop off, but
no. I'm curious to see where is that at? Like how many people actually like, because when the first one came out, this is 310K. 28 weeks later, because like IMDb wasn't a thing when the first movie came out, so I want
475K for the first one.
For the first one? Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
And 7.5.
All right. Well, never mind then. I was like, this probably has way more critics, like, but no.
Yeah.
It did not. All right.
All right, let's give our scores. I'm gonna go 90.
Like you said, I think I did do 92 on my last one. I'm gonna go 93.
All right. Just
So,
a notch up.
Unlike the critics, we actually did like this one more. So
we did, yes. Yeah. Yeah, I just feel like it took the essence of that first film. It kept a lot of the style and it ramped it up with the horror.
Yeah.
So as a horror fan, I mean,
doesn't get much better than that.
Yeah, those are all the boxes I want in a sequel. So there you go.
Yeah.
It's got to be bigger, bloodier.
Go big or go home.
Yeah. Bigger body count. What does Randy say about sequels? Like it's got a bigger body count. Bigger budget. Bigger, things.
Oh yeah, he says other stuff too. But I remember.
Yeah.
But yeah, it checked all those boxes for sure. So,
yeah.
It's probably what he was talking about when he said that was this movie.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
before
Scream
this
2.
movie happened. All right, guys. So we're going to go over to Patreon, talk about spoilers. There's definitely a few things to mention here, and you'll want to know those things because 28 years later is coming out, and I'm hoping that there's a connection there. So we will discuss the possibilities with that and some of our favorite scenes. So go over to patreon.com/scaretalk and get access to that. Otherwise, we'll see you next time.
Yeah.